Hey, what's up guys? It's Jake aka Tag, and today we're back at it again with a super fast cycle 2.9 elixir giant miner deck. Whenever I feature fast cycle and giant miner decks on the channel, they're usually kind of memey, but this is actually one of the best decks in Clash Royale right now. The reason is, when you look at this deck, you might think that you have 2 win conditions, but you actually have 3 with the Magic Archer and a super fast cycle to always get back to it. It's absolutely insane how you can constantly be applying aggression with this deck with the giants and miners, and when they're defending against the giant, they have to drop everything off to the side or the Magic Archer will pierce through and ruin their day. If I had to recommend one giant deck in Clash Royale, this would be it. So test it out and let me know how it ends up working for you down below in the comments section. And if you guys are not already supporting me in the shop, my creator code is SirTag. By using creator code SirTag in any Supercell game, I get a percentage of all money spent at no extra cost to you. It allows me to spend more time on my videos, it supports me, and I really appreciate it. I'm gonna go for Magic Archer on defense and we're gonna see what's up. This guy's gonna have Furnace, so when we see Furnace, we're expecting either a Graveyard deck or a Royal Giant deck. And he's gonna have Barb Barrel, so I don't know yet, man. Both of those are distinct possibilities still. I want to go for a miner in this spot, so then this tower is not able to hit the miner. So if I drop it more center aligned, then the right-hand tower would have been able to hit the miner. But since I dropped it on the left, we were A-okay and able to destroy it. I'm gonna go in for a giant here, and I expect him to, yeah, okay, Graveyard. As soon as we see like a knight or an ice golem or anything of those kind at the river, then we know that he's going to have Graveyard. And usually when we see Knight plus Barb Barrel and Furnace, it means Graveyard opposed to him running Royal Giant plus Knight. That's not very common. Usually you see like Guards or a card that's more defensive that is Swarm elements into it when you are playing against a Royal Giant deck for a better defense against like Lumberjack or Mini P.E.K.K.A. In any event, we're in a really good situation because he overcommitted with Graveyard, and usually because you have bats and your opponent goes in for Graveyard, they're not able to afford a poison because the tank plus the Graveyard is already going to be like 8 elixir, and then you throw in a poison, that's 12 elixir. In single elixir, no one really can afford that. So this deck is really, really good at punishing your opponents because you have the bait elements, and then you can throw in a giant right in front of it. And most giant decks are like Giant Double Prince, and you're not going to have great answers to Graveyard, so your follow-up on the counter push is going to be very marginal compared to what I just had there. So this is really the only giant deck that I know of that allows you that type of capability to punish your opponent as soon as they make a marginal error with the Graveyard early on. So feels good, man. Can Magic Archer align it with Baby Dragon and potentially just take out the tower here? So yeah, that's working out super well. If we time the skeletons well enough, then the skeleton should get targeted instead of the Magic Archer. Then we will be able to finish off the Baby Dragon with ease. Guys, how many towers can I take here? This is really fun deck to play. So even against Graveyard, you can win. It's just going to be difficult in double elixir if they have really good defenses and they play more patiently. We have to mini P.E.K.K.A. here, so then the tower is going to be targeting the skeletons instead of targeting anything else. Another pro play that a lot of you guys probably already know is dropping the bats up higher. So say I have Magic Archer here, and then he drops Baby Dragon. I would rather spend elixir trying to defend the Baby Dragon with a bat surround opposed to dropping a bats onto the Graveyard where he's already going to poison. It just doesn't make sense. So when we drop our bats in a spot where we can finish off the Baby Dragon, then we're just going to drop logs on the skeletons whenever we need. Obviously, like, those logs don't really matter because the Graveyard was evaporated, but the game's over. So if you guys were wondering, just drop your small spells when you know that they're going to poison. Don't hopelessly go in for bats expecting the bats to do anything when you know it's double elixir and they can afford a poison. Drop the bats on top of whatever tank they have with the Graveyard. So we're going to sauce out a log to open up this game. We're going to see what's up. We're going to see what's happening. This guy's going to go for a wall breaker, so if we go for a zap, we shut them down without any damage on our tower. And we see a bandit, so it's probably going to be a Mega Knight deck if I had to guess. Let's go in for a Magic Archer in the back. Yeah, definitely going to be Mega Knight as soon as we see that. Whenever we see someone spamming goblins here with Miner and going for zaps, you can expect nothing other than Mega Knight. We can go for a miner here because this goblin should be out of cycle. He's going to go in for a musketeer instead. Oh man, it would have been so nice, guys, to have a... Oh wow, what the heck? Alright, this is really good. Magic Archer is going to be able to hit the tower now. He's going to go in for a bandit instead. Okay, we could log that if it gets low enough, but rather go for skeletons. He's not going to be able to zap because he doesn't have elixir for it. Definitely does not have elixir for that. In any event, whenever you see bandit with goblins and musketeer and miner, it's going to be Mega Knight. So there's really nothing else that he has. He can't have a big spell with this either. His cycling capabilities just don't allow him to do that. He's just going to be trying to cycle as much as possible, and because of his super fast card cycle, you're not able to afford that poison. So we're going to go for a zap here just to finish off those goblins and then allow the miner to redirect onto the tower maybe. I didn't do it early enough. If I zapped it early enough, would have gotten some damage, but still a-okay. I can go in for a magic archer immediately. Super good play with the miner. I didn't expect him to drop it there. So he might actually get shift damage in a situation that he usually wouldn't. Yeah, that was really, really well played. Man, that miner in the middle, thought it was going to be in the back, so then I could go in for a magic archer, snipe those simple bats, and then be a-okay, but he got a bandit connection, so that was really well done. At this point in the game, we still know that we have a good shot at winning. It's just simply because, well, he's got minor chip damage, we have giant, and we can make a lot more happen because we have double win conditions. There's really no way that he's going to be able to drop Mega Knight effectively if we don't give him that value. So we can giant whenever we want. Get ready for his spam on the other side where we can just go in for a mini P.E.K.K.A. right on top of the Musketeer, log on top of this, and bats. And then the Musketeer dies without any value. We can skeletons here so we can go and pull those goblins. And we're back in business, guys. So he is forced to go in the right-hand side to accommodate all of our spam and try to get counter push there. That's why we're going in the right-hand side so we don't give him counter push on the tower that he wants to. And if he batses, then we just go in for the zap. If he goes in for goblins, we go for log. And then the bandit is not going to be able to get it immediately right on top of the miner. Man, this guy is really good. He's making a ton of predictions. Skeletons right down the middle denies everything if you didn't know that already. Very important. So those wall breakers are killed for 1 elixir. And we get a positive elixir trade overall. So he just went in for a zap. So that means we can successfully go in for our bats. Probably log on top of the goblins that he's about to drop. And then see what else we can accomplish. I mean, bandit getting hit is really good because then the magic archer is able to finish it off without it dashing. And if I have to cycle something, it'll be the magic archer because cycling the giant is just a hefty amount of elixir. I want to cycle the giant now though, so then the musketeer locks onto that instead of the tower. And he could Mega Knight here. We'll see if he spams opposite lane. No, he's going to Mega Knight. Okay, so we want to go in for bats early, so then he zaps them early on. And we can probably should have went in for the miner or like in front of the tower, so then I could have logged the goblins, but get a connection, so that's a-okay. Want to skeletons here, and then cycle our log, cycle our mini P.E.K.K.A. and just bats right on top. The connection will be unfortunate, but it's still something that we can deal with. Not GG yet at all. We can pre-log the goblin. Okay, not even pre-log. He just dropped them. So we can zap skeletons again. As I said before, really, really good counter to those wall breakers. With ease, you're able to shut them down. If you know those interactions and are reliably able to pull them off, you can win this matchup with ease. So yeah, the main reason I won this game was simply because I knew that skeletons right down the middle, not off to the side, counters wall breakers, and because I was able to successfully pull that off every single time, baiting out the zap with the bats. He was not able to zap them. The wall breakers net negative elixir trade for the first time ever. I mean, feels like the card just always gets nice value. Like with bomb towers +2 elixir trade, with like night witches or lumberjacks, you're always getting +2. But with skeletons, your opponent gets a +1. We go for skeletons here on top of the miner, catch it in the safe spot, and we're gonna go in for our own miner in the safe spot. Because who knows if this guy's got tornado. He's going to go for guard. So we're just playing past the miner. We're going to go for a log as well just to get some extra chip damage on the tower. Obliterate the guards. And we know he can't go in for a tank because he has to cycle another 2 cards to get back to that miner because he cycled it first, cycled the guards and the baby dragon. Takes 4 cards total. After cycling 2, he needs 2 more. So we have to go for bats on top of the baby dragon so then it's not able to direct on our tower. And just from the looks of things, I think it's going to be giant, skeleton, tornado, Tesla with balloons. So in this matchup, I want to play pretty aggressive with my mini P.E.K.K.A. when we know that he's not going to have his guards back in cycle. So he's going to be forced to go in for a miner here. We're going to be able to get skeletons down. He's going to get back to those guards, but look at all the value we got with that magic archer, man. That's insane! Oh my gosh, dude. I feel really bad. I feel like a bad person right now, but it's okay, guys. As long as we zap that, it's not going to be able to get any value on us. If he zapped, it got closer to our tower, he could have actually got damaged. So I wasn't about that life. I wasn't going to mess around with that. Tesla's out of cycle. Guards are out of cycle. I could go for a giant and I could go for mini P.E.K.K.A. I think this is really advantageous for me. He's going to go in for the baby dragon there because he thought that we're going to go for bats. The baby dragon is going to tank. But now we're going to go for bats and we will be able to take the right-hand tower. Maybe even 3-crown him. To be honest, I feel like this is a potential to 3-crown. He's going to tornado. He spent a lot of elixir though. Guards are still not in cycle. They're still not in sight. I'm going to go in for a magic archer, and I can log on top of the guards if he drops them, and then maybe even go in for a zap. It's good. I'm going to go for a zap as well, just to get more chip damage. 1 more giant hit. Yeah, that was so worth it. So it's going to be a 3-crown race. I don't even have to tell you guys that. You guys already know, probably. definitely going to be a 3-crown race. So guards are out of cycle, so we want to go in for a mini pack again, and that's how you play this matchup. If they don't have guards, you want to abuse your mini pack. You want to drop your miner in the safe spot where this tower, the left-hand tower, isn't able to hit that miner. So the miner is going to get way more damage than it otherwise would have. I wonder if I can get a Magic Archer connection, pierce through to the King Tower. Oh, the Giant Skeleton died. Wait, it's locked onto the tower. The mini pack got a hit. The mini pack got a hit at a sliver of HP, and we assert dominance with the 3-crown, baby. That's what I'm talking about. I really was not expecting that mini pack to deliver us that juicy Christmas present so early. It's not even close to Christmas, but we're celebrating it early, baby. We're gonna sauce out Skelly's in the back, and we're gonna see what's up. This guy's gonna go for bats. So when we see bats, we're automatically assuming it's gonna be Wall Breaker's Miner. But wait, is he right in the same deck as me? Guys, when we see bats plus giant, it's one of two things: giant graveyard or giant miner. So it is one or the other, and after we see the Magic Archer, it's going to be the same deck. So let's try to assert dominance here. The way that we want to play is we want to fight on our side of the map if possible. I will completely ignore that Magic Archer if I can. We're going to go for a mini packer right on top of his miner. We're going to get so much counter push. As soon as the Magic Archer is already used, he probably wants to go for a spell on top of this skeleton. So we're going to go and try to kite the mini packer right into our Magic Archer mini packer. And guys, look how we built up our push. We looked at his deck, we looked at his comparison to us, and we tried to have everything fight on our side of the map. We played more passive, we got great counter push, and now we get rewarded for it because we translate our elixir advantage and our patience into direct tower damage for a lot of value. So the way I like playing this matchup is usually fighting on my side of the map, prioritizing keeping our mini P.E.K.K.A alive, whether we're logging his mini P.E.K.K.A so it's disrupted when it's on top of ours, zapping it, dropping skeletons to tank for it, or just having him cycle in the other side and then kiting it right into the other side with the giant so it dies to our towers. So one thing that I've also known in this matchup from losing it is the biggest way that you lose this game is not going same lane as your opponent. Like, if you go opposite lane, you need to commit heavily to that. You can't try to defend and play aggressive at the same time because you need the giant as a resource to tank for your supporting cards. Otherwise, what happens is if you go in for a giant on the right-hand side and then try to defend with a mini P.E.K.K.A, you're just going to straight up lose. You can't try to do too many things at once. I realized that from losing many games that you cannot do that. So we're going to be trying to concentrate all of our efforts in one lane. I'm going to go for a log here, disrupt that Magic Archer, kill his mini P.E.K.K.A, going for skeletons on top of the miner. Maybe we can bait out a zap. And the game is still not won yet, but we've done a lot of damage on both sides, to the point that I feel comfortable going in for bats plus miner and giant here. So we will be able to kill his bats unless he zaps, then we'll also have to zap. And that's just going to be so much damage. We will be able to take the tower. Definitely a bit of an overcommitment on our end, but it's fine because he's not able to follow up with a giant in the same lane. I'm going to log, but I'm going to go in for a log on top of the skeletons, the giant, and on the miner. And we can kind of ignore the miner. It does not matter to us. As long as he doesn't zap the skeletons and get the mini P.E.K.K.A on top of our tower with a miner tanking, we will walk with the W. So we can go for a Magic Archer here. We can walk with a win and move on to the next game. GG, well played, and peace out, Girl Scout. It was a pleasure playing against you, and good luck in the rest of your grand challenge. We're going to sauce out a good luck here. We're going to see what's up. We're going to see what's happening. We're going to go for skeletons in the back, and this man is not dropping anything, so we're going to go for bats now, and now he's forced to respond, and then he goes in for a muskie. So when we see Musketeer, usually what happens is they're going to be running either a graveyard deck with Barb Hut, or a giant graveyard deck, or even a balloon cycle deck. So those are on my radar right now. Since we see Skarmy, it's going to probably be a giant graveyard, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Bats are going to be able to obliterate the mini P.E.K.K.A, and that's definitely obnoxious for us. The way that I want to play this is in single elixir. It's better for us to get our opponent to go in for some type of spell on the miner plus skeletons here, and if he does that, then will be really good for us because obviously if he graveyards on the right hand side, he won't be able to get as much value. We're going to try to go for bats right on top of the mini P.E.K.K.A, and we'll go in for our own mini P.E.K.K.A on the right hand side. So this is exceptionally unfortunate for us. I have to log that back, and it still is going to get one hit, but it will not get two. So we're up damage. If it's going to be a 1-0 victory, then we might be able to win, but if it's going to be 2-0 or 2-1, it's not going to be as fun for us. So let's go for a skeleton surround on top of this musketeer so it gets less damage off on us, and I don't believe it gets any damage at all. So he's going to have Skarmy cycle. If we go in for a miner and we go in for bats, then we can safely assume that he's going to go for a Skarmy on top of it and not a mini P.E.K.K.A. We'll see though. Do I do it on the opposite lane? Do I go in for bats plus giant here and get him to do that? I think that's ideal because then I still have enough elixir for a zap on top of the Skarmy. So it's going to just go in for snowball. And then the mini P.E.K.K.A is going to be able to tank for... Oh, it wasn't able to tank for the Magic Archer. I was really optimistic because the Magic Archer connects because it was in alignment. So that was really ideal. We can zap and then have the tower focus off on the mini P.E.K.K.A. So at this point in the game, I can giant tank and then apply aggression afterwards. So that's a-okay for us. I feel pretty comfortable with this game, guys. He's got Graveyard, of course, but he hasn't really had any capability of going for Graveyards because we've always been applying aggression, so he never had an Elixir advantage. All of his supporting cards have all died, so it's really uncomfortable for him. If we log back the mini P.E.K.K.A and kill it, then he's not going to be able to support it with a giant or anything. So it's obvious that I need to zap this and then mini P.E.K.K.A right on top of the Musketeer, then have the mini P.E.K.K.A tread backwards on top of the giant. He's still not able to Graveyard. Very uncomfortable situation for him. We can go for bats here on top of his bats, finish them off. Our mini P.E.K.K.A will be tanking. Mini P.E.K.K.A is going to go on the left-hand side, so we can go in for a Magic Archer here, align it with the tower. It will give us 2 hits. Okay, really cool. Then we can mini P.E.K.K.A of our own, so then we can kill the giant. And it looks like as long as we tank for this Magic Archer, we will win the game. He's only got Skarmy and Cycle, so we're going to pre-log and we're going to drop our miner in front. And we're going to be able to walk away with a W, guys. GG, well played, and peace out, Girl Scout. Pleasure playing against you and asserting dominance. So he had Graveyard, but he was never able to drop it. That feels so good, man. So I'm going to sauce out a log to open up this game, and we're going to see what's up. This man is dropping absolutely nothing. Then he goes and dishes out his own log. So let's go for our miner in the back and have the skeletons approach his tower. So the skeletons are going to demand a response. Otherwise, we get so much chip damage with the little Larrys. I want to give him some extra love with the zap. And we see a Barb Hut. So as soon as we see Barb Hut, I want to play pretty aggressive in this matchup with my bats and miner whenever I can, just to start whittling away on top of his tower, because we know that the giant is not going to be exponentially useful for us. Unfortunately, in this matchup, I think that we're going to have to rely heavily on the bats if we ever want to break through. He's going to have Hunter as well. My dude coming through with the crazy decks. He's going to have Hunter, mini P.E.K.K.A, Barb Hut. He really hates beatdown. So I said earlier, I probably won't be able to break through with any of my supporting cards or any of my real beatdown cards like Giant, right? And that became even more true as soon as we saw the mini P.E.K.K.A and the Hunter in tandem. This is going to be an exceptionally difficult matchup because he's got every answer in the book, 3 cards that hard counter my Giant, and I don't have Fireball to break through it. So that's obviously not ideal. I'm going to go for a Magic Archer here just to be able to kill that. Make sure that we finish off the Hunter. It does not get any chip damage on us. If he drops anything in front, he has no potential to do that. And then the Magic Archer still gets damage on the tower. A couple hits. Very uncomfortable situation for him to be in. We want to keep the elixir count low, so we're going to go for another miner plus bats here. And he doesn't have skeletons, so he's going to mini P.E.K.K.A. It's going to take 2 hits, and then the bats get on top of the tower, so it's well worth it for us. I can log if I needed to, if I was at 10 elixir here, and then I would cycle my skeletons in the middle. But we're still going to wait and see what he wants to do. Yeah, he's going to log right down the middle, not getting any value from that. Skellies will be able to finish off the mini P.E.K.K.A. And we can follow up with a giant. So we can follow up with giant plus bats. The giant's not going to give that much value by itself, but just tanking for the miner, tanking for the bats, tanking for the mini P.E.K.K.A allows us to get value from it. So giant is just going to be a body bag here, and we will be able to get through, finish off the tower, and assert dominance all over him. So this is looking pretty good, man. Even when people have Barb Hut, you have no answer to their mini tank killers, you can still break through and still win. He's going to have 3 Musketeers, so, man, I really wish, guys, that I had Fireball here, but alas, no such luck. I'm going to go for a log here. I can also maybe zap it just to kill the Hunter a little bit quicker. And if we go in for bats, I think it's going to be better. Yeah, I was totally expecting him to drop some type of preemptive spell. Bats are going to be way less likely to get hit by anything because he can't like go in for a rolling air spell. So we can go for a mini P.E.K.K.A off to the side, make sure that his mini P.E.K.K.A goes towards and his Hunter is not able to focus near the tower. Sometimes when you drop like a Magic Archer really close to the tower, the shotgun shells will also inevitably hit the tower as well. Fortunately for us, we are able to afford a mini P.E.K.K.A on the left-hand side and evade all damage there.